That's the question. California Representative Khanna and Anthony Scaramucci, Skybridge Capital founder and co-managing partner and CNBC contributor.
They might know.
What do you think? Well, hold on.
Because Roe knows everybody in Silicon Valley.
Roe.
Is anyone worth that much, Roe?
You know.
I know Pat Gelsinger well. Pat Gelsinger is committed to actually building semiconductor manufacturing in Ohio, $20 billion investment. He grew up in Pennsylvania. He wants to have manufacturing across America. Intel has been in a lot of trouble. He's trying to turn it around. Now,
is there a $160 million market for his services right now?
Do I think you should pay a fair tax on that? Absolutely. But Intel, look, Intel used to be the leader. We used to manufacture 37% of chips in this country. It's down to 12%. They got Pat Gelsinger because they said we got to turn around so Intel can compete against TSMC. We don't want to lose out to Taiwan. He has a vision for building semiconductor manufacturing in the United States. President Biden recognized him at the State of the Union. I think he's a very talented person, but I think you have to pay fair tax on that compensation.
Anthony, I don't know if you want to weigh in on Pat's income or you want to weigh in on Pat's taxes.
Oh, well, I just got to correct Joe. I wasn't there for 11 seconds. It was 11 days, Joe.
11 days.
And I am a distinguished fellow. But listen, I don't.
Anthony, are you sure that it wasn't 11 seconds? It felt like 11 days. Was it?
Well, let me tell you something. It felt like 11 years, Joe. Okay, it should have been 11 seconds. But let's go to the tax issue first. Number one. Pat should get paid what the market wants to pay him. And so God bless on that. And he's made the money. Roe's right. He should pay taxes on that. That's compensation. That's income. But this billionaire's tax is usually dangerous for the country. Taxes should be a price for services. We shouldn't be manipulating the social organism or the social contract of the United States and disrupting the entire capital market system that has made America so great and made it the largest economy in the world. And I think this is very dangerous stuff that the government's about to do. And I don't think it can get passed, moreover, and I hope it doesn't. And I don't think the court would uphold it even if it did.
I need help answering Andrew's question, though, and rebutting him. You say it's a market for Pat Gelsinger. Who else? What market? Who else is going to pay him that? And then I said, well, the board decided it. What if it is a crony board that decides to do that? Is it really a market?
Joe, it's like the art world. Okay, the Salvador Mundi traded for $400 million. Why? Because somebody wanted that painting and was willing to pay it. The board made that decision. It's not like anybody had guns to the board's head and said, well, this compensation package is not fair or it's not on market. You can have a market of one as long as it's a free and fair market.
Anthony, can we just say for a second, I don't disagree no, I do disagree. Typically,
yes, you do.
You need, what do they say? You need, I don't know, now there's going to be like sexist or gendered if you say you need two girls at the dance to find out what the actual price of the...
you better come up with a better
thing. But Anthony, the point is the board, well, you tell me, maybe there is a market. Maybe he was being offered $170 million by somebody else.
Let me put it back to both of you. Joseph, let me ask you a question. If you were getting hired by that board and they offered you the compensation package, would you turn around and say, geez, this is sort of off market, guys. I'm not taking the package.
No, I'm with you. I'd say Max Scherzer. Anthony, Max Scherzer makes a lot more than Pat Gelsinger. I mean,
no, well, I don't know what Gelsinger's making a year, but I'll take Scherzer. And I got my fingers crossed for the Mets, and you can come and hang out with me during the playoffs and World Series this year.
Let's go to the idea, though, of unrealized tax gains, because or unrealized gains. That's still the issue du jour here that we need to discuss. That has nothing to do with Pat's salary this morning. Should this be taxed? And why don't we just do the simple things in life, like deal with the estate tax, like deal with carried interest, like deal with real estate loopholes and all sorts of other things. What is the problem here that we're having to go into these other sort of mechanisms?
Well, we should do all the things you say. I'll tell you what the challenge is. I mean, I represent a district that has $11 trillion of market cap. People say manufacturing is bled in this country. Wages have stagnated. And look at Roe's district. All the wealth is piling up there, all these billionaires. And by the way, a lot of these billionaires aren't paying the same tax as firefighters, as teachers, as police officers. So there's anger in the country. I tell this to all my constituents who are billionaires, and many of them are saying, okay, we can pay 20%. Now, we can come to the details on how that should be done, but I think everyone can agree that people who've made billions of dollars ought to be paying at least 20% in tax.
When you say making billions of dollars, but in unrealized gains?
Well, first of all, a lot of these folks have realized gains or have sold their stock. It's not like many of them all have unrealized gains. And I understand, look, I understand the problem of unrealized gains if you're giving stock options to a software engineer who's worth $150,000. We're talking about people who are worth over $100 million here. I mean, this is not going to be a hardship for many of them. I have a lot of respect for Anthony, by the way. I mean, he's very, very thoughtful. And I understand the point of the precedent on unrealized gains for people who may be ordinary making at a company or stock options. Here, I think you're talking about some of the richest people in the nation and the world.
So the problem with what the representative is saying, and I obviously think the world of him and love his position on crypto, but the problem with what he is saying is you're going to disrupt the capital market system. And this is a system that's been a font of innovation and growth and job creation for the United States. I don't want to see that happen. Moreover, let's talk about what really happened. We inducted a tremendous amount of money into the money supply through the Federal Reserve. That got exacerbated in the stock market in terms of the wealth disparities. And so now, rather than just fixing that and applying more fiscal discipline, both to the monetary policy and having a better budget discipline, like a pay-as-you-go strategy that Rose familiar with that we used to have in the 90s, we're counteracting this with something that I think will be disastrous for capital markets formation. Moreover, the rich are always going to be among us. The Bible says that. It's okay to be rich, and we like people in this country being rich. What we don't want them to do is move the capital outside of the United States or move themselves outside of the United States due to taxes and the burden of taxation. So I get the point that they're rich and so they can afford to pay it, but you're going to set this thing up in a way where their long-term planning is going to be altered, and I don't want that to happen to the country.
Okay.
The only thing I would say with respect is 90% of Americans invest in the United States, 90% of American wealth. Where are they going to go? Russia, China? I mean, give me a break. We're still the greatest place to invest. If they want to take the money outside.
It's because of our tax code that it's so good, though, bro. It's because don't alter something that is so good that encourages all these people to come here and invest. Don't do it.
I think it's because of innovation. I think it's
you're opening a Pandora's box. You're opening a Pandora's box. Focus your love on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, bro.
Gentlemen, we'll all get lunch together. We appreciate it. For now, we're going to leave it right there. Congressman Khanna.